another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about first year of medical school. So it's just going to be a quick review of my first year in medical school. So this is solely going to be from a personal perspective and just how I found my first year. So let's get started. Okay, so did I have expectations for first year? Yes, I did. And some of my expectations were to have a pretty smooth entry into medical school, because first year I felt shouldn't be too complicated, shouldn't be too stressful, shouldn't be loaded with a lot of content. But yes, that was like my expectation. And I also expected that we didn't have a lot of weekend classes, and we had a lot of preliminary medical knowledge to increase our excitement about the program and just give us a head start into medicine and just every other thing that pertains to the field and the course of study. I also was looking forward to an exposure to extracurricular activities, because everybody says medical school is very stressful, and so I didn't want to get too stressed out at the beginning. I was hoping to get exposed to some of the extracurricular activities in the school, and I had actually heard of some before going into it, so I was really looking forward to them. So, going forward, let's see if my expectations were met. So, campus life, first year of medical school is a lot separate from second year onward. It's quite different, because in first year you do a lot of general university courses with the main school, and so you spend some time in the main school as well. And usually classes start at 6:30 a.m. and it goes up until 8:30 p.m. But that doesn't mean you're gonna have classes like every hour of the day. You would definitely have a few free hours where there are no classes, and that's basically your break. And for the general university courses, we did communication studies, African studies. So for African studies, there's just a bunch of different programs or courses in there, and it's a random selection. Whatever you get is what you study. I think it's a 3-credit course. Yes, so there were, with the extracurricular activities, we got to do Medliga. So it's a league, football league for medical students, and we usually compete in classes. So the class emerging the winner definitely has the bragging rights. And we also had our health week. There was a number of activities packed every day with different activities. There was a health walk where we got to educate people on the topic we chose this year was HPV and HPV related diseases. And so in the health walk, we had the opportunity to go around the school to teach people, educate them. And there was woman of choice. I want to talk about this because my classmate Sybil was a competitor in the woman of choice and pageants. It was a pageant that ran for quite some time. She was only first year student in the pageant, and she was the only medical student in the pageant as well. And it was so nice that we could all support her in it, and she was amazing. She's an amazing person with a very fun personality that you'd love. So moving on, yes, everything comes with challenges, and I believe those challenges are meant to help you grow. And so some of the challenges which were actually countering my expectations were long lesson hours. Sometimes we could sit in classes for so long because we were the only first year students taking more courses, and then it required more credit hours. And even with that, some lecturers still expected more hours because we felt their time was limited. And so we spend long hours in classes, and that even ran through to the weekends, because I remembered in our first semester we had a course where our lectures were very busy because they're doctors as well, and so they requested that we have the classes over the weekends, and so yeah, a lot of time in class, a lot of studying. Yes, and I personally struggle with getting meals outside. It made my meal times very challenging, and sometimes our classes could go very long throughout lunch time, and getting lunch was just very messy. And for the housing, I didn't really like the hall too much, but I know it was better than other halls. So the whole library was very small, and so studying there was quite inconvenient. It was crowded and kind of stuffy sometimes, and I didn't like it. And for some of the courses that I took in the first and second semesters, they were a bit challenging for me because I needed like a foreknowledge in senior high school, which I didn't really get. And so building on it was quite challenging. You had to go back in and get the basis right so that you can add on to it. Yes, and I'm very punctual. I'm time conscious. And sometimes it got very annoying when there's a time set for an activity or an event. You get there at the time or even before the time of the event, and you realize that there's nobody around. You have to just keep waiting and waiting for minutes and hours until somebody shows up, and then finally the event will start. It was quite disturbing for me. But like I said before, challenges are there to help us grow. We are meant to go through our challenges. And so my personal growth in the past year was still being able to make time for my personal scripture study every morning, or at least every day, besides the busy schedule and the long class hours and every other thing that needed to be done. I also was able to play volleyball. So our class volleyball rep, sports rep, actually told us to come prep for sports. We needed to put a team together because we're eventually going to compete in Medliga and then Health Week volleyball competitions. And so we went there and we're all trying out what we could do. And it turned out they wanted me to be the captain of the class volleyball team. So yes, I am the captain of the class volleyball team. And that was like a nice thing. It offered me an opportunity to take breaks from studying and just sometimes have fun on the volleyball court. It was great. And I also still had the opportunity to serve church callings throughout this past year. And we didn't have a full presidency like we should have, but I was able to work with my president a lot in doing everything that was assigned to me, everything that was expected of me in my church calling for my assignment. So that was a great growth. And my memorable moments were our Kava trip. So we had a trip to the Elmina Castle, and it was very fun. It was very fun. I loved it so much. You know, the trip initially we all felt like Elmina Castle was somewhere very close, and we didn't want that. We wanted a place that was far. But then later we all realized it was more about the people we're getting to spend time with rather than the place. And so yeah, it was a fun time. We went on a boat ride, and the whole trip was just very fun. It was stress relieving. So I loved it. And then I know group studies, G11 is like the best group the class has ever had. I don't know if any group is like the best. Like G11 is the best group. All of the G11 group members were amazing. group studies was like a great time to learn together and also like have a lot of fun. Group studies were very fun and exciting. And we had like series of birthday celebrations in the group and it was so nice. Yes. I'm hoping to have more study sessions with them. There was a time that we really had a good laugh and it was about something about it was just some cybersecurity issue kind of thing. We're just messing around. Yeah, it was nice. Everybody in G11 is family to me now, and also the opportunity to go home like every weekend to have meals with my family was a very memorable one, and it's not stopping. Gonna continue, so that was good. Because that is like one of my major reasons for choosing University of Cape Coast, so that I'm close to home. Can always make time for meals at home with my family and just spend time with them because I don't know, throughout my full-time mission and just in my whole life, I've found that family times are something that we actually shouldn't do away with. We should always make that a priority. And so, regardless of my busy schedule, my studies, whatever it is, family time is priority. So at the end of the year, we had an MSA dinner, and yeah, so I was playing sports throughout the year, volleyball throughout the year, and so I got nominated for the Female Sports Personality of the Year, and thankfully, every person that saw my flyer voted, gave me an opportunity to win the award, and so it was a great moment at the event to win the award. Yes, that was like one huge highlight of the year. I'm going to share highlights of it, and yes, I'll share highlights of the event. And any advice for freshmen? Yes, I'll be doing a video on what to expect in first year of medical school and even how to prepare for it, and just everything you need to know about first year medical school in UCC, to be precise, because yeah, that's where I am. So, but yes, in first year, try to get yourself exposed to a lot of things. Just try out different things. Don't overwork yourself. Don't get too stressed. Just enjoy it and make your transition into medical school the best you want it to be. Thanks for watching, and if this is your first time seeing me, kindly like and subscribe.